The year is 1687. Sir Isaac Newton publishes a groundbreaking work called Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica. We know this today as Newton's law of gravity. His theory stated every particle of matter attracts every other particle with a force proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. In other words, it explains why apples fall from trees or why Jeeps fall from bridges. Louisiana 4x4 is about to test out that theory. Welcome to Big Easley at night. For this Big Easley night ride, we once again met up at the Hatfield Country Store in Easleyville, Louisiana, and we got lined up, everyone ready to get out to the trail, get the tires a little bit dirty, maybe hit a mud hole or two, and, well, find some adventure. All right, we're heading out to the trail, out to Easleyville. I got my co-driver with me. Co-driver, how's that weather today?
I mean, it's pretty hot because it's 91 degrees and 46% humidity. So
that's a little warm, but it's been worse.
That's a little warm.
Right?
Yeah. It's been worse.
All right, everyone is off the road and onto the gravel. Looks like we're getting this party started. It's time for the Louisiana 4x4 Big Easley night ride. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Gretty, it is not dark outside. And you would be correct. It is indeed not nighttime. But it's coming, I promise you. It's about 15 minutes out, so everyone was aired down. We went ahead and headed out on the trail. Like I said, get the tires dirty. And we found a little bit of mud and got into the woods and drove over a few trees. Nothing too crazy, nothing major. Everything started off relatively smoothly, I must say. You know, night fast approaching, everyone excited to use their lights. It's not often you get to use your lights off-road. My co-driver got to get his favorite shot, which was the front tire rolling through the slop. So I had to include that, of course. And I actually got a little bit of time to try and train him on how to make some videos, how to use the camera, keep the Jeep in the frame. And he was doing better, but things were about to get a bit more interesting. As I made my way from my Jeep through the darkness, led by the light and the shadows cast by the headlights of the other rigs, I came upon this scene. A four-door JK hanging precariously off this bridge, 4 feet off the surface of the water. This minor mistake, luckily, did not lead to the lesson that Newton would have taught. Gravity is always on. And so it was time to begin the task of freeing this Jeep from succumbing to the laws of physics. This job would end up taking 3 winches, 2 jacks, a high lift base, and about 6 people to get it all done properly. Let's look at how it was done. After failing to get one high lift jack to work properly and then abandoning the second, it was decided that scissor jacks were the way to go, so 2 were procured along with the high lift base. The Jeep was secured to the bridge with a winch at the rear on the driver's side part of the rear bumper, as well as the driver's side front bumper. 2 rigs, of course, hooked to the ends of those winches to make sure it didn't slide any further off the bridge. And then the task of jacking that rear axle up off the bridge went to our fearless leader, the president there, who was bravely climbing under that Jeep. So all he was going to do there was just jack the rear axle up high enough that the tire cleared the bridge so it could be winched over. And that's how we would tackle the rear end. Once the rear end was winched back onto the bridge, it would be rinse and repeat for the front end. No pun intended. What you saw there was a little bit of joy and panic, all at the same time, as the rear was being winched over a little too far as the front end came up. The jacks were tied off the bumper. They were meant to fall away like that. We knew that they would fall, and they were wisely attached to the Jeep so they wouldn't go into the creek below. But after more than an hour of meticulous planning, we got this very angry Jeep back up on the bridge. And it probably angry, rightfully so. And now it was time to get everyone else over the crossing. And so the caravan of megalomaniacs and their off-road rigs made it over that bridge 2 times and then back into the dark hardwood section of Big Easley. Hopefully a little wiser about what Sir Isaac Newton taught us a little over 300 years ago. That mass does indeed attract each other. But the adventure wasn't over. There was still a little bit ahead of us before we could go home.
Ratchet? Sure is.
Yeah, my other Jeep radiator busted on the way up here.
Oh no.
Well, after 10 p.m. and more than halfway through the trail ride, it was time to hit Cadillac Hill, one of the last two remaining obstacles that would probably give us any trouble. Up to this point, I've been pretty pleased with the Patagonia MT-02s. They seemed to walk up all the dry hill climbs, went through the muck without much trouble at all. But Cadillac would be a different story. Patagonias just didn't seem to have the answer for the slick clay. Not that many tires do. So I was going to have to give it another shot. Or maybe two. Now, I wasn't the only one that had fits with Cadillac tonight. The TJ behind me was off the rev limiter getting up, and the drive shaft on this YJ decided to give up the ghost. So out came the winch, and up came the YJ. In two-wheel drive, of course. Ratchet also seemed to find some issues with his first Jeep being a radiator. His second Jeep,
That ratchety sound. I don't know. It wasn't like that before.
well, we're not sure. Ratchet stayed back with the YJ to help him get off the trail, and I headed to catch the rest of the group for the last two obstacles. We had to run the moguls, and then it was on to Magnolia Hill, which tonight we would be going down instead of up.
Y'all didn't go down that.
As we near the end of this trail ride, I'd like to leave you with two thoughts. One, gravity is always on. That is a fact. I can definitely say that for sure. And two, never be afraid to ask for a spot over an obstacle that you're unsure about or that you're uncomfortable with. Only you know your abilities, and you know your abilities better than anyone else. So whether you got to get out and ask the guy behind you or wait for the guy in front of you to come back and give you a helping hand, I've never known an off-roader be upset about helping someone get over something that they're unsure of. Now, to add on to that, communications are important in off-roading, so make one of those first mods you get be a radio, some way to communicate with the group. And then don't be afraid to use that and communicate with the group. So those are two things I'd like to leave you with tonight. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I ask that you please be so kind as to hit the like and or subscribe. Help me get this channel up to 500 subscribers. I'd appreciate that. For myself, Grady, y'all have a great evening.